Anybody can learn how to adopt infinite motivation on command using this one simple rule. Now before you get overloaded with the whiteboard here, I'll get back to that in just a minute. A study was done in 1998 at Columbia University by a professor named Claudia M. Mueller, and it was specifically on motivation. And so she took in a group of 5th graders and gave them all sorts of tests like quizzes to do and puzzles to solve. And no matter how they scored on the actual test, she gave them back the results and said that everyone did so much better than she would have thought. They did super well. She went ahead and separated them into 2 groups, Group 1 and Group 2. She told one group, Group 1, it was because of their hard work, and that is why they got those super good results. And then she told Group 2 it was because they were just naturally smart and gifted, and that's why they got their results. And after she told them this, she redid this test with 3 different puzzles: easy, medium, and hard. The results of her new test show that Group 1 spent most of their time trying to solve the hard puzzles while completing every single level from the list. Then when asked after what they thought about this sort of assignment, they said it was super fun and engaging, and they just wanted to continue to push forward. She went over to Group 2 and found that Group 2 spent most of their time actually on the easy puzzles because they believed they were so smart for all the other ones. And then eventually it got so boring that they just kind of gave up and didn't really finish completing all the other puzzles, which is a sign of lower motivation, whereas Group 1 had the sign of higher motivation. And of course, when she asked Group 2 how they felt about this assignment, they said it was boring and they just found no interest in it at all. What we learned from this lesson is a rule called the locust rule, which is the degree at which you believe you have control over your own life. The children in Group 2 that were told they were smart and that's why they got their results were led to believe in what's called an external locus of control, meaning their environment dictates how their life is. You can't control whether you're born super intelligent or not. That's outside of your control. That's your environment. And the children in Group 1 were led to believe in what is called an internal locus of control, meaning that they have full control over their life and what actually happens, because they can control how hard they actually work in this specific assignment. They could choose to relax, or they could choose to go even harder to beat the next person. I see this with individuals in my own life. I always know when they're going to quit at something because they start going externally and playing what I call the blame game on everybody else. If I ask them, what was the reasoning why that happened? Oh, it was because my parents did X and they did something that I didn't like and that's why I became like this. Or if they turned in an assignment late or something like that, they'll say, oh, it was because the deadline was messed up or the teacher is not good and all these things, whether they could have just said, I chose to procrastinate. I made the choice. So the first step is to take responsibility. But how do we actually adopt an internal locus of control? Well, we can adopt this by rewiring our mind with simple tasks or solving problems in our everyday life. Say your mom needed help taking in the groceries, go help her take in the groceries, or clean your bathroom or clean the dishes, whatever it may be. And then don't put all the praise on the result. Put all the praise on the work that you put in to get the result. Because what happens is a lot of the times we only reward the result in our mind rather than the work that we put in. But we needed the work in order to get the result, or else we wouldn't have it at all. We only praise the result, and that's what leads us to burnout. And that's what I want to talk about with intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation are super important in understanding what type of goals you're trying to reach. Intrinsic, I want you to think about, is motivation that comes from within. You're curious about doing something. You're looking, you're seeking, you're self-improving. Whereas extrinsic is an outcome. You're searching for an outcome, for appraisal of others, that good grade because of the appraisal that you'll get, or that nice car because of all the looks that you'll get. But extrinsic motivation is only good for short-term goals. Because if you put this on long-term goals and you're not getting the outcome you're looking for because it takes a long time, then you'll get dopamine depleted, lead to, again, burnout. So intrinsic is always good for the long term, and extrinsic is also good, but keep that more for short-term goals. Want to learn about goals? Please click somewhere on the screen and I'll see you there. But with that being said, this is your life, so please take full control.